What if the greatest transformation of your life is already within your reach, but hidden, waiting for you to master your mind before you can unlock it? Imagine standing at the edge of your own potential, knowing the path ahead is tough, but also knowing that with the right mindset, every hardship becomes a stepping stone. And what if every breath you take is a rare gift, one earned through centuries of resilience, a legacy you're meant to carry forward with purpose? If you wish to walk the path of the Stoic, the journey doesn't begin with the world around you. It begins within. Before you can uplift others, you must first uplift yourself. That means gaining control over your mind, your responses to both, internal struggles and external chaos, and the habits that shape your daily life. Only then can you truly begin the journey to self-mastery. You are who you are now, but within you lies the power to become so much more. Through Stoicism, you have the tools to learn, to grow, and to transform yourself day by day. Nothing worthwhile ever comes easy, and the Stoic path to greatness demands unwavering focus, conscious effort, and continuous reflection. It's not a sprint, it's a lifelong journey fueled by a deep commitment to live in alignment with your values. In the vast tapestry of existence, consider how rare and miraculous your life is. You are here today because of an unbroken chain of moments of choices, sacrifices, and sheer perseverance that led to your very existence. Pause and feel that. It's not just a story of chance, but one of resilience, written by those who came before you. And once we realize that life is a gift, how can we not treat every single day with reverence? To breathe, to think, to love. These are privileges, not guarantees. So when results don't go your way, good. Use it as fuel. When life throws problems at you, good. A chance to prove your creativity and grit. These aren't setbacks. They're opportunities disguised as adversity. As Marcus Aurelius once said, when you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive. In those few words lies the essence of Stoic living, recognizing that every moment, no matter how fleeting or fragile, is priceless. Each sunrise offers you another chance to shape your story, to carry forward the legacy of your ancestors, and to build the one you'll leave behind. It's easy to forget this amid the noise, the stress, and the suffering. But Stoicism isn't about ignoring emotion, it's about choosing how to respond to it. A Stoic feels deeply, but acts wisely. It's okay to feel pain. It's okay to feel sadness. But it is not okay to let those feelings decide your actions. Your reason, your rational mind, must guide the way. In embracing the Stoic path, we accept the impermanence of life and the priceless nature of time. We learn to see every defeat as preparation for victory, every loss as a hidden lesson, and every single moment as progress on the path to our highest selves. We may not control the winds of fate, but we can always adjust our sails. Let us live with the clarity that our greatest strength lies in the mind, a tool more powerful than any storm we might face. Guided by the enduring light of Stoic wisdom, we can move forward with courage and purpose. Marcus Aurelius once reminded himself, think of what you've already endured. How often do we forget the mountains we've scaled, the storms we've survived? And with that thought, let's continue this journey together and explore what comes next on the Stoic path. We ended the last part by reminding ourselves of the battles we've already survived, the proof of our resilience. So now, as we face new challenges, let's not see our past hardships as burdens, but as evidence of our strength. They're not weights on our shoulders, they're the wings that help us rise. Whenever you recall the storms you've weathered, let that memory ignite your inner fire. You've endured, you've stood your ground. So now, as you face whatever lies ahead, do so with the same courage. Stoicism teaches that comfort breeds weakness. The more we avoid discomfort, the more we surrender control to the whims of life. But true strength, it is forged in fire. The Stoics remind us real power is built by confronting life head-on. It's in the struggle that we learn about ourselves, our limits, and how to expand beyond them. With every obstacle faced, we gain insight. With every trial endured, we become emotionally wiser. It's like resistance training for the soul. The more pressure we face, the stronger our spirit becomes. Just as muscles grow when they are stretched, strained, and tested, so too does your confidence, your resilience, and your capacity for enduring life's blows. Seneca once said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body. Fire tests gold. Suffering," he added, "tests brave men." That's because it's in our most difficult hours that we're not only challenged, but defined. Picture hardship as a sculptor holding a chisel. Each painful strike, it's not random, it's not cruel. It's carefully removing the excess, chipping away the false layers to reveal the masterpiece hidden beneath. When we adopt this perspective, our darkest moments become opportunities to illuminate the deepest parts of ourselves. But remember, if your actions are driven by the desire to impress, or if you hesitate out of fear of what others might think, you veered off the Stoic path. The moment you allow external judgment to dictate your direction, you've surrendered your autonomy. You become a performer on someone else's stage, waiting for their applause or their silence to guide your next move. True Stoic strength is quiet. It does not seek validation. It is built on a fierce inner loyalty to your values, your principles, and your vision of who you want to become. Because in the end, the only person you're destined to be is the one you choose to be. Consider this. You skip your training because you're not in the mood. It seems harmless, but it's not just about that one missed session. It's about the decision behind it. You've chosen comfort over discipline, and in that moment, you've told yourself and the world who you are, someone who lets emotion override purpose, someone who steps back when it's time to lean in. That's why the Stoics urge us to be extremely cautious with what or who we give our attention to. As Epictetus warned, you become what you give your attention to. In today's world of endless distractions, this lesson is more important than ever. Every notification, every conversation, every fleeting urge, they all shape you. That's why you must guard your mind as you would a fortress. Let only what is worthy enter, because once it's in, it changes you. The Stoics didn't ask life to be easy. They asked for the strength to respond well, whether they were handed joy or sorrow, simplicity or complexity. Everything outside was seen as neutral. It wasn't about what happened, it was about how they responded, and that perhaps is the core of the Stoic way, to always choose the best response available, regardless of the situation, to meet life not with complaint, but with character. To rise, not react. Previously, we learned that the Stoics didn't seek an easier life. They pursued stronger character. And now we take that lesson even deeper. Strength isn't just about enduring, it's about transforming pressure into purpose. The Stoic mindset teaches us to see every situation, no matter how chaotic or uncertain, as an opportunity to build character. Instead of being consumed by the whirlwind around us, we focus on the one thing we truly control, ourselves. This is where the ancient Stoic rule applies. It doesn't matter what you bear, but how you bear it. According to Stoic philosophy, the most remarkable people are not those who avoid stress or discomfort, but those who navigate it with grace. Modern society often tells us to hit pause the moment we feel pressure, to rest, retreat, and escape. But the Stoics saw stress differently. They recognized it as a necessary force, like the intense heat and pressure that turns coal into ice. Diamond. Greatness, they believed, does not grow in comfort. It emerges from adversity and persistence. It is forged in the moments when we want to give up, but don't. That's why Seneca's quote resonates so deeply. Just as a gem cannot be polished without friction, nor can a man be perfected without trials. Focusing on yourself in this context is not selfishness, it's clarity. Because when your mind is strong and steady, you become more, not less, capable of contributing to the world. Ask yourself honestly, who benefits if you keep pouring from an empty cup? How can you truly serve others if you're constantly drained trying to meet everyone's expectations? The Stoics would say, stop chasing approval. Instead, turn inward. That's where your strength lives. That's where real transformation begins. The external world may offer distraction, chaos, even applause, but it never offers lasting control. You can't own it. You can only engage with it wisely. And to do that, you must train your focus gently but consistently back to your own mind. Whether you're facing conflict at work or tension in your personal relationships, your power lies in your ability to remain grounded in your own values. Otherwise, the wind of others' opinions will blow you off course. You'll be led by noise instead of your own compass. Have you noticed how quickly outside voices can destabilize you when your internal boundaries are weak? The more energy you spend trying to please everyone, the more you risk losing your own voice. And that voice, the one that knows your path, is irreplaceable. Marcus Aurelius wrote that chaos outside cannot disturb the well-defended mind. He saw the mind as a bastion, a stronghold of calm, even when the world feels like it's on fire. And modern Stoics echo this. Turning inward doesn't mean ignoring the world. It means cultivating the wisdom and resilience to stand firm in it. By refusing to be imprisoned by others' expectations, you reclaim your freedom to adapt, to evolve, to flourish. The real question becomes, are you willing to give up the illusion that others define your life? When you do, something powerful happens. You step into your own story. You choose the next chapter. That quiet inner commitment to your principles, your growth, your truth, is the invisible revolution that sets you free. So now, let's ask ourselves one more thing. How do the Stoics view adversity? Not as an enemy, but as a mirror. One that reflects where we still have work to do within. And when life presents its harshest tests, we can either fixate on the storm or we can begin to refine the sailor. In our last reflection, we saw that adversity acts as a mirror, revealing not the world but ourselves. And now we explore how turning inward gives us something even more powerful: emotional freedom. When we choose to focus inward during difficult moments, something remarkable happens. We regain our power. No external situation, no matter how chaotic or cruel, can take away our ability to choose how we respond. Whether it's courage, compassion, or patience, that choice always remains ours. That is the emotional sovereignty Stoicism offers. Modern Stoic thinkers warn us, without the courage to examine ourselves, we risk living on autopilot, repeating the same mistakes over and over. But each trial we face is an invitation, a chance, to awaken hidden virtues and grow stronger in the crucible of challenge. When we direct our focus toward self-growth, even pain becomes purposeful. Even suffering becomes a forge. So ask yourself honestly, when difficulties come, do you meet them as catalysts, tools that sharpen your strength, or do you try to avoid their lessons altogether? Every moment of hardship holds the potential to unlock a deeper capacity within you, but only if you choose to look inward. Have you ever caught yourself drifting into gossip or comparing yourself endlessly to others? These distractions don't define you, but they do waste your most precious resource: attention. Every second spent in comparison could be used to refine your character. Every whispered judgment could be turned into self-awareness if you pause and redirect. And what about the fear of being judged? How often does it stop you from acting in alignment with who you really are? By focusing solely on your own path, you give that hesitant, quiet part of your soul a chance to breathe, to grow free from the weight of others' expectations. The Stoics never denied the value of human connection. They knew we need one another, but they warned, don't let your need for connection turn into dependency. If every action is dictated by others' opinions, you'll slowly lose your sense of self. Seneca once said that real companionship is only possible between people who know themselves deeply. Only then can they walk beside others, not behind, not ahead, but with. To walk through life with quiet confidence, you must have self-trust. And self-trust only comes from one thing: consistently aligning your actions with your deepest values. Modern Stoicism reinforces this truth. If you don't trust your own inner vision, you'll be vulnerable to every passing voice, every trending opinion. Taking a firm stand for your internal truth creates something lasting, a clarity that outlives applause and criticism alike. So now, you must ask yourself, will fear set the limits of your life? Or will you begin to realize that your real strength lies in mastering what's uniquely yours to master, your inner world? Have you ever wondered how to transform envy into inspiration, anger into wisdom, doubt into curiosity? The Stoics teach that emotions are not enemies, they are signals, each pointing to an area within us that needs deeper understanding. And when we stay centered on our inner world, we give ourselves the space to interpret those signals clearly, without harsh judgment or blame. Emotions become guides, not chains. They reveal our fears, our attachments, and our longings. By observing them with calm attention, we begin to build emotional intelligence, the kind that quietly changes our lives. Each moment of awareness is a step toward personal evolution, turning what once triggered us into insight and strength. So the next time frustration rises, pause. Ask, what is this moment trying to show me? What assumptions am I holding on to? Questions like these keep the wheel of reflection turning. They guide you deeper into yourself, toward a version of you that reacts less and responds more. And here's another question worth asking. Why do certain situations rattle you while others leave you untouched? The Stoics believed it's not the events themselves, but your perception of them, shaped by your beliefs, that determines how you feel. By learning to discern which thoughts serve you and which sabotage you, you begin to architect your emotional world. Previously, we explored how your inner perceptions shape your emotional world. Now let's go even deeper into the discipline of mental clarity and how daily self-reflection can become a gateway to lasting peace. Through practices like journaling or quiet self-dialogue, you begin to uncover hidden beliefs, those unconscious thoughts that quietly create inner conflict. When you shine a light on them, you create space to replace confusion with clarity and chaos with calm. This subtle yet powerful shift allows you to rest in your own ability to interpret life, not be overwhelmed by it. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself, external things cannot touch the soul, not unless the soul allows it. Across the centuries, this timeless message still calls to us. Protect your mental space. Guard your inner world. Because no matter what happens outside, your mind is the gatekeeper of peace. So ask yourself, will you become the architect of your mental life, designing it with intention and care? Or will you leave the blueprint of your peace to chance, shaped by random impulses and noise? The Stoics saw discipline not as a rigid system of denial, but as a conscious, liberating choice. Discipline to them was freedom. When you consistently focus inward, you step onto a path of self-mastery, one that expands your possibilities rather than limiting them. Seneca might say, true discipline liberates you from the tyranny of fleeting emotions. It creates the stillness necessary to act according to your highest principles, not according to mood or impulse. Modern Stoics echo this sentiment, encouraging us to build habits and boundaries that protect our mental energy. In a world overflowing with distractions, this form of discipline is your compass. It points you back to center. Each new day offers a chance to fine-tune this internal system. Will you treat discipline as a burden, a chain? Or will you see it for what it truly is, a guiding star quietly leading you to the life you deeply desire? Have you ever noticed how everything shifts when you change your focus from what's missing to what's already within you? That's the power of gratitude, another central Stoic practice. By turning our attention inward, we begin to appreciate the strengths we already carry. The ability to think critically, to love deeply, to remain patient under pressure. Gratitude is more than a feeling, it's a perspective. It transforms how we experience even the most ordinary moments. Modern Stoic thinkers remind us, when you live in gratitude for what you can do, instead of dwelling on what's beyond your control, you invite peace to take root. Even in the midst of routine, there are hidden treasures. Can you slow down enough to notice them, the subtle joys of the everyday? Let those moments be the sparks that illuminate your path forward. Now ask yourself another question. How many hours each day do you lose to distractions that don't serve your growth? Every distraction, every unnecessary indulgence of attention quietly drains your energy that could be used to evolve, to create, to strengthen your spirit. The Stoics knew that life is short. Each day is a once-in-a-lifetime gift, a chance to refine your character, or to let it sit idle. Especially in today's digital age, they would urge vigilance. Protect your attention like a precious currency, because that's what it is. When you dedicate yourself to what matters, practicing virtue, learning, nurturing real relationships, you rise. You don't ignore others by focusing on yourself. On the contrary, you prepare yourself to serve them better. You cannot pour into another's cup if your own is empty. Each hour can be a quiet investment in sharpening your mind, purifying your intent, and aligning your actions with what you truly value. So take a moment to reflect. Does your daily routine create space to nourish the best version of yourself? Or has passive scrolling and mindless consumption stolen your focus? Will you reclaim that time with the fierce discipline the Stoics urged us to build? In the last section, we explored the importance of guarding your time and attention, treating each moment as a sacred opportunity to shape your character. Now let's turn inward again, this time to examine how our conversations and inner dialogue either sharpen or dull our journey. Have you ever paused to ask yourself, what do my daily conversations revolve around? Are they filled with reflections that nurture personal growth, or do they lean toward judgments about others? When we spend our energy dissecting other people's flaws, we're not just wasting time, we're weakening our own discipline. The Stoics understood this well. They taught that gossip and unnecessary criticism don't just damage the person being discussed, they quietly corrode the speaker from within. Every careless word fosters a subtle negativity that lingers in the heart. Epictetus would urge us to examine the way we speak. Are our words serving our journey, or are they just noise, scattering our focus? Modern Stoic voices remind us that the words we use reveal the climate of our inner world. When our focus is turned inward with honesty and care, our speech becomes more intentional, more aligned with wisdom. So ask yourself, do your daily conversations uplift your spirit or drain it? Are they expressions of your values or echoes of distraction? Redirecting our dialogue toward gratitude, insight, and meaningful ideas doesn't just help others, it creates a nourishing environment for our own peace to thrive. Words shape space, and when we speak from clarity, we invite clarity in return. Now consider this. Have you ever felt lonely in a crowd, but completely whole in silence? The Stoics drew a sharp distinction between loneliness and chosen solitude. Choosing time alone, not out of rejection, but out of intention, is not weakness. It's a bold act of self-respect. It's where discovery begins. Modern Stoic thinkers highlight solitude as a sanctuary, a quiet incubator for reflection. In stillness, the noise of the world fades, and the subtle whispers of our intuition begin to rise. These are the whispers we often miss in the rush of daily life. In these quiet moments, we finally see ourselves clearly. Old patterns become visible. Limiting beliefs come into the light. Solitude becomes a return, a homecoming. It's where we reconnect with our purpose, reflect on our growth, and imagine the next version of ourselves. So, what if you began to treat solitude as a sacred appointment, a meeting not with emptiness, but with the deepest parts of your being? In learning to enjoy our own company, we discover we were never truly alone to begin with, and that brings us to another hidden force shaping our days, our inner voice. That quiet thread of self-talk that weaves through every action. Have you ever noticed how it sets the tone for everything you do? The Stoics believed that our internal dialogue either prepares us for resilience or sets us up for defeat. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself to examine his thoughts each morning, knowing that the mind's first whispers would guide the rest of the day. Previously, we explored the silent force of inner dialogue, the way our thoughts guide our choices and shape our day. Now let's focus on how those thoughts can be trained with intention, aligning us with clarity, virtue, and peace. The Stoics knew that our minds don't just react, they can be shaped. That's why modern Stoics suggest the daily practice of intentional affirmations. These aren't hollow phrases of self-praise, but focused reminders of who we strive to become. When you start your morning centered on values like acceptance, courage, and gratitude, you create a foundation that steadies you through the chaos of the day. Over time, this practice begins to rewire your brain. Literally, the more you direct your thoughts toward resilience and clarity, the more those qualities take root in you. Anxiety fades not because the world becomes easier, but because you become stronger. So ask yourself each morning, what words am I feeding my mind? Do they echo the strength and wisdom I truly seek? And why do the Stoics place so much emphasis on the present moment? Because it is the only moment we truly live in. The past is memory. The future is possibility. But now, this breath, this thought, this action is reality. It's the only stage where your life actually unfolds. To focus only on yourself means anchoring your awareness in the now, not drifting into regrets, not escaping into fantasies, just being here with honesty and presence. Modern Stoics advocate for what they call mindful presence. Watch your thoughts, they say, but don't cling to them. Let them drift by like clouds across a wide sky. Each time you return to the present moment, you reclaim your power. You begin to see paths that were once hidden behind layers of worry and distraction. Can you feel it? The quiet power in simply showing up, fully engaged in the moment in front of you. Every choice made in presence, whether it's a loving word, a disciplined action, or a courageous stand, echoes far beyond the second it happens. It becomes part of your character, shaping your future and subtly healing your past. The Stoics also taught us another powerful lesson. Let go of the outcome. You can't control where the dice will land, but you can control how you play the game. When you focus entirely on the action itself, on your intention, your effort, you free yourself from the anxiety that comes with chasing results. This is what modern Stoics call detached engagement. You pour your heart into what matters, but you release your grip on what you can't control. And in doing so, you gain something rare, peace. Not passivity, but empowered serenity. Because when you live this way, when you anchor in effort and release attachment, you create a life woven with integrity, a life that holds steady even when outcomes shift unexpectedly. Each day offers you this chance to refine your choices, to sharpen your focus, to live with virtue regardless of the results. In the previous section, we reflected on how letting go of results and anchoring in effort can bring both serenity and strength. Now, we explore how this steady effort, especially in the smallest moments, becomes the foundation of greatness. The Stoics taught that success isn't measured by applause or outcomes, but by the sincerity and virtue of your effort. So ask yourself, can I let go of the fruit I cannot control in order to better tend the soil beneath my feet? Have you ever noticed how tiny victories, barely perceptible at first, can quietly accumulate into life-altering transformations? That's the Stoic path. Not overnight change, but deliberate daily refinement. The Stoics champion the power of repetition, intentional actions, no matter how small, repeated with discipline. Over time, these actions shape your character, not through grand declarations, but through the rhythm of daily life. Maybe it's choosing patience when anger would be easier. Maybe it's keeping your composure during a stressful encounter. These moments matter. Each one chips away at what is unnecessary and reveals who you're becoming. Modern Stoics emphasize that no single moment defines you, not your greatest triumph and not your worst mistake. What defines you is your consistency, your devotion to showing up every day with integrity. This is why celebrating small progress is a core part of Stoic practice, because greatness is not born in the rare, epic moments. It's forged in the quiet, unnoticed decisions, the ones made without witnesses. Your steady devotion to virtue, day after day, carves a legacy that is yours alone. Will you embrace these small, purposeful steps, trusting that they are leading you, step by step, toward mountains that cannot be moved by doubt? And when life strikes hard, when tragedy or loss shakes your world, how do you respond? The Stoics remind us that everything outside our moral inner world is fleeting, so we must prepare ourselves for inevitable change. This understanding is called the principle of impermanence. If you anchor your identity in things that fade, possessions, reputation, even relationships, you'll be tossed by every wave. But if you turn inward and build strength there, you create a foundation that no external storm can uproot. This isn't about detaching from love or becoming cold and distant. It's about understanding that true stability must come from within. When heartbreak, disappointment, or sudden loss visit your life, the centered mind stays steady. It feels deeply, but it doesn't collapse. It remains rooted in the unshakable core of self-awareness. So ask yourself, are you developing this internal safety net? Are you building a place inside yourself that can shelter you when the storm comes? And let's not forget, focusing on the self isn't just mental or emotional. It's physical too. The Stoics believed that caring for the body was an essential part of living virtuously. They knew that a clear mind requires a strong vessel. In our last reflection, we acknowledged the Stoic belief that true strength starts from within, but it must also be supported by the body that carries it. After all, a resilient mind needs a stable foundation. Modern Stoics echo this timeless truth, emphasizing that physical health is not about vanity, it's about integrity. Exercise, proper nutrition, and restful sleep aren't indulgences, they're pillars of self-respect. When we care for the body, we're honoring the vessel through which our reason, discipline, and virtue are expressed. Treating your body with kindness, fueling it well, resting it deeply, and moving it intentionally is more than physical maintenance. It's a visible expression of inner alignment. When your daily choices reflect your deeper values, you begin to trust yourself more. That trust becomes a quiet power. Can you weave this kind of gentle reverence into your daily life? Can you make your body not just a vehicle, but a temple, a structure strong enough to support the fortress of your mind? Now, let's turn to something equally vital: dreams. How would the Stoics view aspirations and long-term goals? They wouldn't dismiss dreaming, but they would caution us not to become lost in fantasies of the future. Visualizing your goals can be helpful, but the Stoics would remind you, no dream becomes real without effort in the present moment. Modern Stoic teachings support this grounded approach. Let your vision inspire you, but don't let it distract you from what matters most: the step right in front of you. When you focus fully on your current actions, even the smallest ones, something powerful happens. You start transforming vague hopes into concrete momentum. That skill you refine today, that decision you make with integrity, those are the bricks that build the bridge to the future you want. This isn't about killing your hopes. It's about honoring them by backing them with discipline and walking steadily toward them. Will you let your dreams drift unanchored in the clouds, or will you root them in the soil of daily, consistent effort? And what happens when your journey is met with criticism or disapproval? Here, too, the Stoics offer powerful guidance. They'd remind us that other people's judgments lie outside our control. We can't stop opinions, but we can control how much space they take up in our minds. When you focus inward, you begin to meet feedback with clarity, not emotion. You listen calmly, extract what's useful, and discard the rest without resentment. That's not weakness, that's wisdom. Modern Stoics call this measured introspection. A well-grounded sense of self doesn't lash out in anger or collapse in shame. It stands firm. It learns when there's something to learn, and it lets go when there isn't. So ask yourself, will you allow the noise of the world to shake your core, or will you engage with calm reflection, turning every critique into a stepping stone for growth? Previously, we explored how grounded self-awareness helps us respond to criticism with clarity. Now, let's consider how Stoicism invites us to take back control of our attention, and with it, our lives. Have you ever found yourself pulled in a dozen directions at once, feeling busy but strangely unfulfilled? The Stoics would have seen this as a symptom of scattered living, where presence is replaced by noise and depth is lost to distraction. They would urge us to cut through the chaos by anchoring ourselves in deliberate focus, one moment, one task, one purpose at a time. Modern Stoics echo this wisdom, warning that constant multitasking doesn't expand our capacity, it drains it. When we divide our attention too thinly, we lose the ability to go deep into anything meaningful. Our energy becomes fragmented, our minds restless. But by choosing to focus only on yourself, on what truly matters to you in this moment, you reclaim something priceless, the richness of immersion. Single-minded attention isn't limiting, it's liberating. It leads to mastery, it brings calm, and it preserves the integrity of your inner world. This too is Stoicism, honoring the present by giving it your full presence. Every moment is sacred. To waste it through constant fragmentation is to disrespect life itself. So ask yourself, will I keep juggling a dozen things at half capacity? Or will I walk the Stoic path, fully engaged, one meaningful pursuit at a time? Now, consider this: how much energy do we lose holding on to resentment? How much mental space is consumed by grudges that only keep us tethered to pain? The Stoics saw anger and vengeance not as strength, but as chains that bind us, not to virtue, but to the very people who wronged us. When we focus on ourselves, we begin to break those chains. We shift our energy inward toward healing and transformation. Modern Stoic thinkers remind us, holding a grudge is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to suffer. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting or accepting harm. It means choosing not to carry the burden any longer. That energy is better spent on growth, on purpose, on becoming who you want to be. Can you picture the weight that would lift if you let go of old resentments? What might you build with the energy they used to consume? But here's something few talk about. Sometimes focusing on yourself means stepping away from the crowd. It can feel lonely. Disengaging from popular distractions, shallow conversations, or external validation can create a sense of separation. The Stoics understood this deeply. They didn't deny the difficulty, but they saw it as a necessary step. Solitude for them was not emptiness, but a forge, a crucible where the true self is shaped. Modern Stoics speak of this solitude as sacred. It's in those quiet spaces that you begin to forge a genuine relationship with your inner world. You learn to be your own companion. You discover a sense of belonging, not to trends or people, but to your purpose. Over time, this self-relationship breeds independence, stability, and peace. You stop seeking constant affirmation from others. Why? Because you've already affirmed yourself. In the previous section, we explored how solitude, though sometimes lonely, can become the birthplace of inner strength and authentic belonging. Now we turn to how this inner clarity helps us navigate our relationships and the world around us. Focusing on yourself doesn't mean closing yourself off. It means becoming clear about who you truly are, so that the connections you do choose are built on truth, not dependency. Even when the path feels solitary, it's lit by something unwavering, your own guiding values. Will you walk that quiet stretch of the journey, trusting that it leads to a deeper unity with the person you're meant to become? Now, pause for a moment and ask, who are the voices shaping your thoughts? From the influencers you follow to the books you read, the content you consume is shaping your worldview, often in ways you don't notice. The Stoics warned us not to blindly absorb unexamined doctrines. Modern Stoic thinkers echo this. Be intentional about the ideas and people you allow into your mental space. Choose mentors, real or virtual, who reflect virtue, clarity, and purpose. Surround yourself with thought that elevates, not noise, that distorts. When you feed your mind with nourishing perspectives, you cultivate a mindset that supports growth and peace. But if you're careless with your mental diet, confusion creeps in. Toxic beliefs can quietly take root, clouding your judgment and draining your spirit. That's why the Stoic approach demands vigilance. Your mind is a sanctuary. Will you guard it, letting in only voices that resonate with your highest ideals? And here's a truth we often forget. This journey of self-focus doesn't have a final destination. There's no finish line called mastery. The Stoics taught that self-mastery isn't achieved in a single epiphany. It's forged in the rhythm of daily effort. Modern Stoics encourage us to see it as a dance, a lifelong movement between growth and setback, intention and mistake. It flows, it stumbles, but it always moves forward as long as you keep showing up. Each new sunrise offers another chance, another opportunity to examine your thoughts, refine your habits, and recommit to your deepest values. This repetition isn't a burden, it's a gift. It means growth is always available, waiting for you to claim it again and again. So as you walk forward, ask yourself, can I see this practice not as a rigid rule, but as an unfolding story? One that I write with every breath, every choice, every moment of awareness? And finally, pause, truly pause, and check in with yourself. After exploring these Stoic insights, do you feel a little more peaceful, a little more awake to your own potential, a little more alive to the idea that this journey is yours to shape? Maybe, just maybe, a quiet spark has been lit, a sense of clarity that calls you forward. In the previous section, we spoke of awakening to your own potential, of recognizing the power within you to shape your journey. Now we arrive at the heart of the practice, returning to your center again and again, no matter what the world throws at you. The Stoics, both ancient and modern, remind us that this return to the self isn't about shutting life out. It's about engaging with life from a grounded, steady place, a place of inner sovereignty. From this foundation, you don't run from challenge, you meet it. You don't hide from opportunity, you rise to it. Every situation becomes a quiet invitation to stand tall in who you truly are. And when you live this way, your days begin to shift. You greet each morning not with chaos, but with calm determination. You end each night not with regret, but with gratitude for the lessons, for the growth, for the moments of clarity. This is what it means to focus on yourself, not as isolation, but as deep affirmation. A declaration that your presence matters, that your part in the world is both personal and purposeful. So ask yourself, are you ready to lean fully into this moment and begin again from a place of truth? All of these reflections lead us back to a single, unshakable truth: your mind, your choices, your life. Whether you're guided by Marcus Aurelius's timeless meditations or by modern interpretations of Stoic thought, the message remains unchanged. True mastery, true peace. They are not things to be chased in the external world. They blossom when you focus inward, when you focus on yourself. And far from being selfish, this is one of the most generous, courageous acts you can commit to. Because in returning to your inner world, you don't just find clarity and resilience, you rediscover your capacity for deep, authentic compassion. Each time you turn inward, you fortify that inner fortress with wisdom, with humility, with courage. You begin to hear your own unique rhythm, your life's melody, no longer drowned out by the noise of demands, doubts, or distractions. So now the question stands, are you ready to finally sit in that quiet, powerful seat of freedom within yourself? Have you realized that by truly embracing the essence of self-focus, you give yourself permission to speak in your real voice, one that is unapologetic, unburdened, and vibrant? The Stoics would applaud this moment, not for ego, but for the strength it represents. For it means you've claimed full responsibility for your mind, your values, and your destiny. In a world overflowing with opinions, comparisons, and noise, the Stoic path offers something rare: clarity. When doubt or judgment rises like crashing waves, you return again and again to the voice within. You remember that no storm can sink the soul that remains centered, and from that place, you begin to transcend the illusion of chasing approval or surface-level success. You begin to live from purpose, from principle, from peace, and as each day passes, that resolve to stay grounded, to stay you, only grows stronger. As we've journeyed inward, returning to our center, guarding our attention, and reclaiming our peace, we now stand at the final threshold, living the Stoic path with unwavering grace, one choice at a time. You are part of an ancient lineage, one link in a powerful chain of Stoic tradition passed down for centuries. The question is, will you carry it forward in your own unique way? Will you rise each morning, not with fear or distraction, but with quiet strength and intention? Have you felt it, that subtle, steady stirring deep within you? As if a silent string has been plucked in your core. That's not just emotion, it's the Stoic invitation, a call to become the guardian of your inner realm, a call to see that in focusing on yourself, you unlock a force that no external success can match. No accolade, no applause, no material reward compares to the deep-centered confidence of someone who is truly at peace with their own mind. And even in this fast-paced, ever-shifting world, the wisdom of Stoicism remains a steady compass, a timeless guide to navigate the unknown. So embrace this compass. Let it steer you through every twist and turn, not with rigidity, but with deliberate action, thoughtful reflection, and an open, compassionate heart. Let your daily life become a living echo of Stoic principles, of self-mastery, resilience, and purpose. In each moment, you have a choice. Will you let fear rule, or will you act from courage? Will you chase validation, or will you stand rooted in truth? Let that inner chord, once quiet, now awakened, resonate through your actions. Let it carry you to new heights of understanding, new depths of discipline, and a renewed connection to what truly matters. So, what will you carry forward from this journey? Perhaps a renewed dedication to daily journaling, a commitment to pause in adversity and listen to its hidden lessons, a deeper sense of responsibility for your thoughts, your time, your presence, because this isn't about memorizing Stoic quotes, it's about living them. It's about weaving their timeless clarity into the fabric of your day, your habits, your very being. In doing so, you don't just walk the Stoic path, you become it. A living testament to the power of inner alignment, a source of calm in a noisy world, a quiet beacon for others searching for clarity. The Stoics, both ancient and modern, are watching from the halls of history, not with judgment, but with quiet applause. Every step you take toward self-possession honors the legacy they left behind. So let your journey be proof that the path of focusing on yourself is not a lonely trail, but a radiant avenue toward truth, meaning, and transcendence. And now, the final question remains. Are you ready to rise, to walk forward in stillness and in strength, guided not by noise, but by the unwavering light of your own soul?